Safeguarding and the protection of children and vulnerable adults is the responsibility of everyone, whether in a personal, moral or a professional statutory capacity. But the global nature of the internet, the ease of communication, the fast-paced nature of technology, including the fact that connected devices are integral to people's lives, means that the online world has added complexity to safeguarding, protecting children and vulnerable adults. Illegal and unacceptable content and activity is widespread online, the most serious of which can threaten national security and the physical safety of children. Amongst other things, online platforms can be a tool for abuse and bullying. It can be a means to undermine democratic values and debate, including mis- and disinformation. It can be used by terrorist groups to spread propaganda and radicalise. And it can be a way for sex offenders to view and share illegal material or groom and live stream the abuse of children. And it can be used by criminal gangs to promote gang culture and incite violence. Furthermore, platforms can be used for other online behaviours or content which may not be illegal but may be detrimental to both children and adults, and this would include things such as the potential impacts on mental health and well-being. It can be echo chambers and filter bubbles driven by algorithms. This is being presented with one side of an argument rather than seeing a range of opinions. So it's widely recognised that the internet and the World Wide Web were never designed with children in mind. Many protective measures are reactive and inconsistent rather than proactive. Historically, tech companies have largely self-regulated in relation to content, contact and conduct of users, seemingly only responding when there is public outcry. A large proportion of the blame for this is often attributed to legislation from the United States, specifically the Communications Decency Act of 1996, Section 230. And whilst this is US legislation, the effects are worldwide, given that many tech companies are based in the US. CDA 230 is often cited as the 26 words that made the internet, and the intentions behind it were good, allowing users freedom of speech whilst protecting the platforms upon which the user-generated content was published. This section of the Act simply states, no provider or user of an interactive computer service shall be treated as the publisher or speaker of any information provided by another information content provider. And whilst there is no protection against illegal content, without CDA Section 230 there would be no Amazon reviews or Facebook comments, YouTube videos would be severely restricted and much more. But this creates a challenge. Whilst there are statutory measures to prevent or remove content that is illegal, what about content that is potentially legal but potentially harmful? Most interactive online services have age restrictions, commonly 13, to comply with advertising laws such as COPPA, the US Children's Online Privacy and Protection Act, or the Data Protection Act and GDPR within the UK. Yet very few online services have effective age verification processes or parental controls in place. Furthermore, potentially harmful content doesn't just relate to children, it can significantly affect adults too. For example, misinformation and disinformation related to COVID-19, vaccines, election campaigns and much more. The UK has started to lead the way in this area with the introduction of the Age-Appropriate Design Code. Often called the Children's Code, it's a statutory code of practice under the Data Protection Act 2018, which was brought into legislation in September 2020, and it places a baseline of protection automatically by design and default. But the Children's Code is UK legislation. The internet is global, and whilst everyone is at some level of risk, front of mind for any service delivery should be protections for those who are vulnerable, both children and adults alike. Evidence is clear that those with a real-world vulnerability are not only more likely to experience online risks, but suffer more than their non-vulnerable peers. But what do we mean by vulnerable? In the context of online harms in general, vulnerability is widespread. The term is often used with children and or adults with additional needs, children in care, young people in pupil referral units and much more. But anyone can be vulnerable. For example, consider election periods and a prospective elected member who uses public social media as part of a campaign process. That person is now vulnerable to abuse, harassment and much more. During the 2019 general election campaign, 4.2 million tweets were sampled in a study which showed candidate abuse in 15% of all replies, compared to 3.3% in the 2017 general election.